Welcome back everyone to Buy the Dip, Hold the Rip, a Pokemon investing channel. My name is Mike, and today we have the video of doom, gloom, and despair. Because today I am going to make my case that in 2027 the Pokemon market will crash. And now that I have your attention, please likes, comments, subscribe, all the good stuff, okay? All right, so let's get into it. The way I want to approach this topic is a little bit different than what we've been seeing around YouTube. In this case, what I wanted to do is act as if I walked into the casino, right? And they gave me house money and said, you have to put all of your money on one of two things, okay? Next year, the Pokemon market will either A, continue its bull run, extend the bull run, or B, go into a complete crash. Not a dip, not a pullback, an actual crash. And so it's kind of like a two-part series, right? Today, I'll make the case for a crash. And then on my next video, I'll make the case for the bull run next year. Okay, and here's the thing, right? As I'm making this video, it kind of sobers me up as being, because I'm an investor, right? I'm always buying. During the bull run, I bought. During this little dip that we're having right now, I'm buying even more, right? And it kind of gave me like this, almost like a smack of realism in the face, right? Because while I was thinking about the video, making a chart, right, it really does show how at any point in time the market can weaken and soften and kind of roll down a cliff, right? And that's kind of what I saw in the making of this. And if I had to put my money, like real life money as well, on next year either being a crash or a bull market, I really think that if I had to choose one, I would choose the crash. It's not that crazy of a thing, okay? So let's walk through it. I'll put a graph up on the screen right now. And what it is, I simply asked ChatGPT to make me a graph of the Pokemon market from 2021 to present day. And for those of you that were here for it, I wasn't, but I know about the COVID boom and the COVID crash. So that is all included in here. And what we see right here is this graph is a composite market index for the Pokemon market, because there is no official Pokémon TCG index, right? So what this is, it's a graph that shows modern sealed, raw chase cards, graded modern cards, and some select vintage assets, right? So it's not 100% perfect, but I do think that for the purpose of this video and the next video, right, I'll be using the same graph, that I think it serves its purpose. So my first point, and probably the strongest argument that next year we will go through a Pokemon market crash, is this: strong sets do not prevent crashes. Let me say that again. Strong sets don't prevent crashes. In other words, Ascended Heroes cannot prevent a crash. The 30th anniversary cannot and will not prevent the crash. Delta Rain, even though that Rayquaza SIR is sick, will not prevent the crash. A Mega Evolution Tag Team set will not prevent the crash that is coming next year. Because if you guys look at this graph, along the bottom row, we have all of the sets that were released on this whole timeline. From 2021 all the way to present day, which is July going into August of 2026. And you will see at the pandemic era peak. Look at the sets that came out at the very top of the boom. As the boom started to dip, as that dip turned into a crash, and as that market began to free fall and eventually bottom out. Let's look at all the sets that were here, okay? All right, you guys are looking back at me now, I think. Okay, we have Chilling Reign, a good set. Evolving Skies, a fantastic set. Celebrations, Fusion Strike, Brilliant Stars, Lost Origin, Silver Tempest, and it completely bottoms out and starts to stabilize after Crown Zenith. Guys, these sets that I just named, they are the absolute best sets of all in Sword and Shield. And a lot of these sets would clear sets that are in Mega Evolution. They would clear sets that are in Scarlet and Violet. These are true S tier, A tier sets. Let me go over these again. Chilling Reign, Evolving Skies, Celebration, right? The anniversary. What's coming up for us? The anniversary. What else? Fusion Strike, Brilliant Stars, Lost Origins, Silver Tempest, Crown Zenith. And still, the market crashed. Absolutely crashed and burned. Now, let's look at the present day market. We have Ascended Heroes, right? And I don't want to go off on a tangent right now, but I don't want to burst anybody's bubble here or offend anyone. But if Evolving Skies cannot stop a crash, Ascended Heroes stands no chance. Because I get it if you're new to the hobby, right? I'm still new to the hobby. If you haven't done your research, if you haven't really gone and done the deep dive through sets, Evolving Skies is, I don't want to say much better than Ascended Heroes, but it's better than Ascended Heroes, and it's not even really that close. Evolving Skies is, I don't think many people would argue, is probably the best set we've had in the last decade. And I get it. I'm new to the space. Haha, he doesn't know what he's talking about. Whatever. It is what it is, guys. Team Up is great. It has probably the best chase cards of the last decade. But overall as a set, Evolving Skies clears Team Up. It clears Ascended Heroes. It'll clear the 30th as a set, right? And it'll clear a Mega Evolutions tag team set. More than likely, right? As a set. And if Evolving Skies can't keep a market afloat, like I hate to repeat myself, but neither will Ascended Heroes, neither will the 30th, Delta Reign, or a Mega Evolutions tag team. Okay, and the reason, right? How is it possible that we get the absolute strongest sets, but I still think that there will be a crash? And it all comes down to the fact that when everybody in the space knows and expects that a product is S tier or going to perform well short term, long term, then those middle, like kind of like middle term, short, middle, even in some cases even long term gains have started to get baked into these prices on newly released sets. Right? Let's look at Ascended Heroes. Fantastic set. Generational set. ETBs should not be $150 a couple of months after release. Some would argue that the Pokemon Center ETB should not be $500 a couple of months after release. And right now, a set like Ascended Heroes has been given valuation that a product does not deserve for at least a year. I might even argue a year and a half into print. The ETB should not be 170, 180, whatever they got up to. Because what that does is when it happens to enough products, we start baking in these expected growth, right? It plants seeds of greed, right? And that's something that we've already gone through in this market, the greed phase. Everybody felt like they could buy product and not just flip it. Okay, we're not just flipping. We're not just doing it for the good of the hobby, right? People felt like they could buy product at MSRP as a vendor, right? Whatever they did, right? Whether you're a scalper, a vendor, you buy market like mostly I do. You like to wait outside Target all night, whatever it is, right? They buy product, and by the next week, that product is 5 to 10% higher on the market. And people weren't selling 85%, 90%. No, guys, if you were here, if you were not offering somebody 100% of market, they would laugh you out on OfferUp, on Facebook, whatever, right? They would just leave you on red, okay? And once the market went through the phase of greed where everybody selling their product will not accept anything under 100 to 110% of market, and they start baking in those future gains, we lead to my second point of this, right? Markets don't crash because collectors leave. Markets crash because we run out of buyers. Let's look at, to me, the top signal, the absolute top signal of the market. That when I saw this, to me, I saw the cracks in the dam, and you just see a little bit of water coming out, right? Because nobody sees the crash that will be here in the next 6 months, maybe 8 months, right? In 2027, right? Anywhere from the first to second quarter, probably it'll start. But right now is where those gears have already started turning. And what it was, I'll try to put it up on the screen right here. Everybody saw this. Sam's Club. Hundreds of people lined up, wrapped around, up to 2 days before. People lining up on Sunday when it didn't even release. Was it till Tuesday, I think? Guys, what you're seeing right here at the Sam's Club, for the Focus Fighter release, the Ascended Heroes Focus Fighters, the most concerning part is we do not see greed right here. This market that we're in is past the greed phase. What we are looking at right here in these pictures, right, or the videos you saw of Sam's Club, the fights, the ghost chairs, the lines that wrap around the building, and it's still the night before. This is not greed, ladies and gentlemen. This is desperation. This is people who got fat, people who had a great time over the last year and a half of the bull run, buying product, botting product, scalping product, and selling it right away for double, triple, quadruple what they bought it for. And those people did not ever think it would end, right? When stuff is so good, you forget how it was before. And these people did not live within their means. These people started going out to restaurants more. They looked at the car they always wanted, right? And they bought the car, probably at a 30% interest rate, $500 worth of insurance. They did upgrades to their house. They went on these lavish vacations, put it on their credit cards, thinking it would never end. Because how could it end? Look at the sets coming out. Ascended Heroes, right? All the ones I mentioned earlier. How could it come to an end? And guys, it's sad to see what these people are becoming? Fighting. That's always been going on, right? Fighting, camping out, just for a couple of boxes of Ascended Heroes. And here's the thing, right? About buyers running out. This is my top signal right here, right? To me, the Sam's Club experience with the Focus Fighters is the top signal, because the market for somebody buying these Focus Fighters boxes on the secondary market for, was it $250, $270? Nobody who is in the right mind, or who has been in the Pokemon hobby for more than like, I don't know, a year, 8 months, 6 months, nobody thinks that's a good deal. Because people, again, are baking in so much future appreciation on a product that just came out for a set that is brand new. What should have happened in a healthy market, these Focus Fighters should have come out, pack prices should have dropped, and more importantly, these should have been reselling on the secondary market for $140, $150, maybe $170, right? And a lot of people would have considered that pretty high. But again, people are desperate. People have these very large credit card payments to pay off at the end of the year. People have, now their new car loans to pay off at the end of the year. People have that vacation that they took to pay off at the end of the year. People have so much leverage that, mark my words, okay, this is what will happen with the 30th. At the beginning of the 30th release, it will be botted heavily. It will be scalped heavily. The normal stuff with every other good set we've had. Here's the only difference. It'll work initially, but Pokemon will print so much of this set and release so much of this set. Same thing with Delta, and same thing with the Mega Evolution Tag Team. That the people who are leveraged so much in credit card debt, that took out loans, I pray to God nobody refinanced their house. That when they realize that they are not able to flip instantly for 100% gains, 200% gains, I don't know exactly when, but the dominoes will start falling. People will get spooked. And if a market was able to crash when Chilling Reign was just released, when Evolving Skies was just released, at the 25th anniversary, Fusion Strike, Brilliant Stars, Lost Origin, Silver Tempest, then I am actually convinced that next year there will be a crash. Because remember, the next Pokemon crash won't begin with bad sets. It didn't in 2021. It'll begin when great sets are released and everyone assumes that they are a guaranteed hit, a guaranteed payday. And so, that's kind of my case for next year being a market crash. Hopefully I didn't miss anything. It's kind of hard doing everything in one take, right? But on that note, please like, please comment, please subscribe. Am I wrong? Am I being over dramatic? Do I have a point? Right? For the most bullish investors out there, did I convince you even 5%, 1%? Because I know I did myself, right? And that being said, I will always be buying. if there's a market crash next summer, then believe that every month up until then, I will be buying. And on that note, guys, thank you for watching. Take care.